Before we start, I want to kindly thank me for buying me a cuppa. You can always buy me one too. The link's in the description below, and thank you in advance if you do. I was in Wilko wondering where all the stock and employees were when a man asked if I'd seen the film about a woman who inherits a castle. I said no, I've not seen it because it looks shit. No, he grinned, I mean The Devil's Plaything. The Devil's Plaything, also known as Vampire Ecstasy, is a 1973 German-Swiss film about two girls who inherit a castle, but there is a condition on them fulfilling the will, or something like that. It stars no one of note, but it is made in Salzburg, so it looks nice. Will they inherit the castle? Will it involve rituals? Will it be unnecessarily mucky? Yes to all. The film starts with a castle in Germany. Isn't it nice? It'd be a nice German film from the 70s. Vampire Ecstasy? Isn't The Devil's Plaything? Ah, it's the other title. The first 5 minutes of the film is Shaniqua playing this awful drumming music. Thankfully, we don't see Shaniqua. It's not very German though, is it? And then these ladies all take their clothes off and start doing some weird dance, but I can't show you all of that, it's just mucky. But here, have a little bit of it. She's probably cold. I mean, she doesn't have any clothes on, and the other lady's just trying to help warm her up. Where's she going with that vase? I think you know where she's going with that vase, and you're definitely not going to see that. Ah, Germany, if you'd won, you'd never made this film. But anyway, I digress, it's Halloween. Now, these two birds on the train are heirs to the castle, but they have to stay there a full year. No hello, no how are you doing? Guten Abend. I don't know where the other girl is. She probably stayed on the train. She probably heard about all that Shaniqua drumming and what happens afterwards. After lots of riding about looking at beautiful scenery, because there is some of that in this film, they eventually make it to the castle where they meet Wanda and the girls, this time with their clothes on.
I'm the housekeeper. Welcome. We shall show you to your room.
Friendly. And then the other heiress arrives. Not on a horse though, she had to walk, which is why she's late.
Welcome. I'm Fräulein Krock, the housekeeper. You must excuse us. We had electricity, but we have it no longer. Miss Donev, Sonia shall see you to your room. Miss Tanak, Morgana shall take you to yours.
Can't we stay together?
In the same room? I'm afraid that's out of the question.
That sounds like a bizarre rule, considering what was happening at the start of the film. Then a brother and sister arrive whose car broke down conveniently outside the castle, and the housekeeper agrees to let them in, especially when she finds out that her sister is researching the occult. Maybe she wants to drag her into her weird vase nighttime ways.
I'm doing a study of the local superstitions. My brother Peter assists me.
If you wish to be our guests, you and your brother are welcome to stop at the Castle Vaga during your stay.
You're very kind.
Told ya. It's then bedtime, but the girls are woken up by Shaniqua's drumming. Let's hope they stay in bed and don't go and investigate what's happening where this noise is. The drumming seems to be having quite an effect on the fella who turned up with his sister. I think he might be having a mucky dream. Dirty boy. With any luck, his sister will wake him up and tell him to snap out of it and get out of the castle. Oh dear, is that really your brother? Anyway, we need to get to daytime quickly. The next morning, some of the ladies go outside and discuss the drumming that they heard. And the sister who's doing the research explains the backstory, thankfully for all of us.
Or even displeased her, were put to death by impalement. After the bloody uprising that deposed her, the Baroness was chained to her impaling stake and burned by the women of the village. The revolt had been led by her sister, Ulla Borisov, and the handmaiden, Gia Donashova. Danya Vaga was known to drink the warm blood of her impaled victims, and so the superstition grew that she was a vampire. The furious and fearful women wanted to destroy her completely.
So it turns out Varga was burned for being a vampire. Thanks for that.
I told you that I was afraid of ghosts, but this sounds like nonsense to me.
Oh, young German girl, if only you'd applied that logic to some of the other stories from the mid-20th century. Whilst they're all downstairs nattering about ghosts, one of the heiresses has taken quite a shine to the brother, so they're upstairs playing Twister on the floor. Left hand pink. Poor horse just wants to eat his dinner in peace.
Please be seated and make yourself comfortable.
She was just doing that in the barn. But anyway, Wanda then reads to the two girls the rules of the will, which is basically they have to stay there for 1 year, and then they'll get it split between them both. Later that evening, the blonde heiress, because really names aren't important, gets a visit from Wanda, and things are about to get a little bit weird. There's a shock. Who'd have thought putting your fingers in someone's belly button would have such a reaction? Anyway. That evening, Shaniqua's drumming starts up again. This time, blonde heiress wakes up and goes to have a look at the picture and seems to enjoy the drumming a little bit too much. But then dark-haired heiress wakes up, has a listen to the drumming, looks at the picture, doesn't have the same effect on her, she just faints. She's probably not a slag.
What do you make of this?
I don't know.
I had a terrible dream.
I wonder if it's as terrible as this film. The following day, the blonde heiress decides to go to the barn. Yes, I think we know why. That poor horse. He just wants some peace and quiet. That wasn't who she was expecting, but about 30 seconds of this nonsense later, she's having a roll around on the hay, but this time the horse doesn't thankfully have to see it.
Please, can we meet outside?
Outside?
Perhaps in the stable. Please, don't disappoint me.
Bloody hell, she just spent the last 6 minutes in the stable playing doctors and nurses. Well, nurses and nurses. But of course, it's not long before the blonde heiress is joined by the brother with the Planet of the Apes hair. Because the dark-haired heiress isn't falling for any of this shit, Wanda decides to speak to her friend to see if she can try and convince her into her wicked ways, using magic.
Great deal about us, Fräulein. About her.
I love her. She doesn't know it, but I love her.
Then you would serve her? If you could?
I would do anything for her. Anything.
I wonder if they've got magic candles. They have got magic candles, they're shaped like magic mushrooms. So blonde heiress naturally is enjoying herself far too much. I think she might have just stepped on a plug. And dark-haired heiress is still not falling for any of this old shit.
Julia, you have looked very uneasy all morning.
That's because I am uneasy, Peter. If we stay another night, we are asking for distraction.
But the crosses. I slept very easily last night.
There are certain forces afoot that even I don't understand, Peter. Things are closing in about us. Those crosses may be thin barriers, separating us from destruction. If we left now, we could get far enough, even by foot.
The last time we talked, Helga refused to go.
Peter, you fool. You must leave her and her legacy.
I love her, Julia.
You love her? She's a little oversexed harlot.
And that's why he wants to stay. But not before he goes to say a quick goodbye. I wonder how this will go.
Peter, why you come? But darling, you must listen to me. Demons surround us. They want to destroy me, my body, my soul, my mind. Oh, please help me. Peter, promise you will help me. Promise you will help me. Promise.
I promise.
Ah, you fucking simp. Just get out of there. You know he won't.
Fine.
Please, you're hysterical.
Look at me. They're destroying me.
You must always wear this. If you do, I can help you. And they can't reach you. Never remove it, as long as you're here.
Well done. He didn't shag her.
They make a beautiful couple, Doctor.
Tonight is the night of the vampire, Fräulein Krock.
Yes, Doctor. The night of the vampire. It occurs once every 9 years.
I can't let it happen.
You can do nothing to prevent it, Doctor. You see, a flame burns. A flame that never went out. The same flame that burns a beautiful body of the Baroness Varga.
Ignited from embers, scooped up by Julitha, the personal maid of the Baroness.
From whom I am descended, directly through the female line of our family. And you know, Doctor, that the spirit of Baroness Varga lives in those flames that we've kept alive for over 300 years.
Well, thanks for explaining the plot there, Wanda, who is the descendant of the woman in the photos and thus the descendant of the house.
I must speak to you. Please throw me some light.
I cannot let you do that.
I think you shall.
I cannot permit you. I shall kill you first.
What a very polite threat of violence.
Out of my way. I'm going to find my brother and leave.
I wonder what your brother's doing. Watch out for them noises. Meanwhile, dark-haired heiress has fallen for the tricks.
Monica! Where's everyone?
They're all inside without their clothes off, making editing this video extremely difficult. Which means instead of watching the two heiresses being naked and doing, well, what those naked women do, you have to watch a woman being attacked by crap-looking bats.
You're welcome to take 2 of our horses to speed you on your journey.
I don't ride. Throwing clock.
So they finally escape, but then they come back again to be greeted by the dark-haired heiress. It doesn't make any sense.
So, Doctor, you have returned, as I knew you would. Oh, winged cousins of the night. They call me. They call.
Not a fucking clue. And instead of trying to shag the blonde heiress, he's now touching his sister. Ah, the magic in this house is crazy. Let's just hurry up and get to the end of this film quick. Instead of doing his sister, he does dark-haired heiress instead, who at the end decides to suck his blood. And then she sucks blonde heiress's blood. Ah, she was so quiet and nice at the start of this film. Then she bites her sister. Bloody hell. And then the blonde slacky heiress redeems herself. And that is the end of the film. And you know that because at the very end it says, the end. Ah, the good old 70s. Well, what a pointless and overly confusing load of shit. Unfortunately, the 70s saw a massive relaxation in censorship, which led to many horror sexploitation films, because they, and you know who they are, knew horror sold, and throwing in good looking women showing off their charms would make more money too. Hence, rubbish like this. There are worse examples, but there are also good ones too. But they're made in Italy and actually have horror in them, and not fake bats. Give it a miss. Until next time, ta-ta for now, and stay away from mushroom-shaped candles. If you enjoyed this video or thought it's slightly less shit than the others, you can always buy us a cuppa on Ko-fi. The link's in the description below, and thank you in advance if you do. Don't inherit castles.